With me now is Dr. Sanjay Gupta. He's our chief medical correspondent at CNN. What are you hearing, Sanjay?
Yeah, I mean, this is some sad news. Obviously, you know, we've been following these trials for some time. This is one of the volunteers in the experimental coronavirus trial, AstraZeneca, in Brazil. We hear that this death occurred on Monday. The public health agency now just alerting other people to this death, but also saying at the same time, Brianna, that the trial will continue. It's not clear, at least initially, when you hear these sorts of reports of deaths, exactly what happened, or even if the person received the vaccine or received the placebo. When you're dealing with tens of thousands of people in these trials, I think the point that they're making is that sometimes these deaths can occur even in placebo groups for reasons unrelated. The fact that they're continuing the trial may be a little bit of a clue, but still we're getting more details about this. And you'll remember now, Brianna, this is now the third time that we've had some sort of adverse effect like this reported. Again, not clear that this was due to the vaccine, but back in July, the AstraZeneca trial was paused briefly, and then again at the beginning of September, about 6 weeks ago. You may remember it was a person who developed these neurological symptoms at that point, difficulty with walking, these sort of symptoms that were suggestive that maybe there had been some impact of the medicine on the spinal cord. That person subsequently recovered. But this is the sort of thing that these investigators are looking out for. Are there adverse side effects? Are those side effects related to the vaccine specifically or unrelated? Are they in the placebo trial? And those are the sort of details that we're going to keep trying to get, Brianna.
Yeah, why won't they just put that out there? Because certainly I think if this was someone where they were taking a placebo, it might be less concerning. Or if there's something they can say about the kind of symptoms or the cause of death.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's sometimes a source of frustration, and you'll remember that even going back to September again, it was some time before we started to get the details about specifically what happened to that patient. My colleague Elizabeth Cohen was getting some of those details. The trial was halted in the United States, but then resumed in the UK. So it does seem like a bit of a mishmash. What happens, I think, is that there is an independent entity, which is the Data Safety Monitoring Board, and they're really the only ones that are supposed to be able to unblind the data. The researchers who are actually giving the vaccine don't know if they're giving vaccine or placebo. The people who are receiving this, the volunteers, they don't know. So the way that it's supposed to work is that you have one entity that is independent that can unblind the data and see specifically what happened here. That can sometimes take a while. It shouldn't take that long, I guess, to your point, and they should release that data, and we're hoping that they do. But as of right now, all we know is that there was a volunteer in the trial who has died. We don't know much more in specifics in terms of anything about the person, their age, pre-existing conditions, and most importantly, we don't even know if they received the vaccine or not. So as we get those details, which I think we will, we'll certainly have a little bit clearer light on exactly what happened here.
I'm Scott McLean in Berlin, where Europe's second wave of the coronavirus is showing no signs of slowing. Germany has reported more coronavirus deaths over the past week than it did in the entire month of August. The worst hit countries are the Netherlands, Belgium, and now the Czech Republic. Yesterday, the Czech health minister made masks mandatory almost everywhere outdoors, and this morning, the prime minister, after an emergency session of parliament, conceded that the current restrictions in place simply have not worked. So, starting tomorrow, the Czech Republic will go back into something you might describe as a lockdown. Only essential businesses will be allowed to stay open, and movement will be severely restricted to essential trips and to work. With the country's healthcare system nearing its capacity, the Czech Republic will also be accepting doctors from the U.S. National Guard in Nebraska. The Prime Minister was praised for his early success in tamping down the first wave of the coronavirus. Now, He's apologizing for not taking action sooner to tamp down the second wave.